Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today I'm co-hosting the Can't Sleep Creations Spring and Easter Edition with my fabulous friends Dawn from Shabby Meets Bling and Monica from Up All Night DIY. Today I'm going to be doing 3 DIYs in a bird theme. Let's get started on DIY number 1. So I have this birdhouse here. I believe I got it from Home Goods. I've had it for quite a few years. It was on clearance because it's missing the finial on top. But I don't like this. I figured out that it's just hot glue making this design. So I'm taking my heat gun on here a little bit and I'm going to be scraping all of this design off. You can see that once I take it off, it's black underneath. And once I get all of this off on both sides, I will be sanding it down and getting it ready for painting. Plus I need to put a new finial on here. All right, everything is off and sanded. And the finial that I'm going to use is I have this spindle here that I took off of the plate rail that went to my hutch. And I also have this cute little glass knob that fits perfectly on top. And I think this will be perfect for a new finial on top of the birdhouse. Just need to drill the hole just a little bit bigger so it will fit down in there. And then I'll just be gluing that on top to the finial. All right, let me go ahead and get this painted. I'm just using my Waverly chalk paint in the color white. I'm going to give it a few coats. All right, now that it's dry, I want to put some side pieces on here because I just couldn't get that sanded good enough and you can still see it. So this is just some cardboard that came from a cereal box. And it's really thin so I can use it on here. Just going to cut it. Because you want to make this the same size. And just get this marked where I need to trim it at. And get this cut. There we go. And then the bottom part for the scallop is just this carrot that is from the Dollar Tree. Later on I'll probably be working on this carrot. So I was just using this as a pattern on another piece of cardboard, which I'm just scotch taping together. And go ahead and get this cut out. And I will be covering up the cardboard with some scrapbook paper that I already have. You can see that's just a little bit too big, but I will be taping it and cutting the sides down. All right, so this is what I'm going to use. This is some scrapbook paper that I've had for quite a while, and it has like, you can get the burlap sheets in it, and you get the paper sheets that look like burlap. And I like, this looks a little springy, even though it's burlap, because it's got the polka dots on it. So I'm just trying to get this the right size. And I'm also going to use that little piece that I cut off for the back side because it will be hanging down and you will be seeing that. So I want to cover that up. So I'm just going to be Mod Podging this on. I'm going to go ahead and get this little piece on the back side first. Make sure I put plenty of Mod Podge on here because I'm going to have to cut this so I can see my scallop on the other side. So I'll just take my X-Acto knife and cut this out. Once it dries a little bit, of course. All right, so I have that done, and now I can Mod Podge on the other piece to the other side here. Just want to make sure I get lots and lots of Mod Podge, and I will do the same thing, cut out the scallop part with my X-Acto knife. All right, while I'm waiting for all those to dry, check out these napkins. Aren't these beautiful? My good friend Annie from Crafting with Indie Annie Jones sent me these. I love this. I like how it has some of the brown in it. It goes perfect with that burlap scrapbook paper. And I wanted a touch of blue because all my projects today are going to have this little bit of touch of blue in it. So I'm just going to rip this because I'm going to be decoupaging a few pieces on all four sides of this birdhouse. Just trying to figure out my pattern here that I want to do. Rip a little bit more right there. All right, I'm just taking Mod Podge, and I'm going to be placing that on there and going over the napkin. All right, let me go ahead and get some more of this on here. And cut that off just a touch. All right, let's figure out what I want to put on the side here. Go and get this all ripped up. So I'm going to continue decoupaging the napkin on to the other sides, and then I'm going to be ready to add a little bit more touch of blue to this birdhouse. Now that that is done, I'm going to be using this Ocean Mist blue. I went ahead and did some on the back part, and now I'm going to do it on the front here. I have, oh my gosh, I don't even know how many shades of blue, and this is the closest one I could find for the napkin that would kind of coordinate with the blue in the napkin. But I do love this color. I think it's a good springy blue. Almost reminds me of, like, you know, robin's egg blue. All right, I got that done. I did Mod Podge this on this side already. And you can see that I did paint the bottom of the birdhouse, and I did the finial in the blue. I'm going to go ahead and get lots of Mod Podge on here. And then I'll be attaching the other roof piece. And once it's dry, we can continue on with the birdhouse. Now, I did go ahead and do this pretty pink called Rose Cloud. It kind of coordinates with the roses, and you can see how beautiful this looks. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use this B7000 that I got from Temu, but you can use any kind of glue that you want to. So I'm going to glue it to the top, and I'm going to take Mod Podge and go over the whole thing too, but not on those pieces right there, just the rest of it. All right, so now that it is all done, I want to add a little birdie right here. And this is just a bird I've had for a few years that I got from the Dollar Tree. It has a little clip here. I'm just going to clip it on, but I want to cover it up so you can't see the clip. So I have some Spanish moss here that I'm just going to hot glue to the clip part of the bird. Get some glue on there. And stick the moss right there. Gotta pull off a few pieces. All right, there we go. And that birdhouse is done. Now let's do DIY number 2. I'm going to be making a couple bird finials. I want to make my finial first. Now, these are pieces from a curtain rod in my home that I took down. This is the finial part that goes on the end of the rod, and this piece right here goes against the wall, and then the rod goes through there. And these are perfect for crafting with. I saved every piece. I'm not going to use that piece. I'm going to use this bottom piece, and then, you know, you can use these and just cut those off. I've used it before. You could put that on there like so and like that, but I'm not going to use that piece. I'm just going to glue these together like this, and this is going to be my finial for underneath my little birdies that I have. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these with some wood glue. All right, now that they're dry, I did sand them just a touch, and I'm taking that Waverly chalk paint in white again. And I'm going to give them both 2 good coats of paint. Now that they're dry, I need to distress them just a little bit. So I'm taking some 80 grit sandpaper, and I'm just going to randomly go along around the finial everywhere. And the reason that I'm distressing this is because I have these cute little ceramic birds that have a little bit of distress to them, so I want to match it up. I'm going to get this one finished and work on the other one, and then I'm going to be gluing on my birds. All right, they are done, and look at these birds, aren't they cute? I got these from Michael's. Oh, I've had them for over 10 years. I think they are so adorable. They got a little bit of distress to them. And I'm just going to be gluing these on with that B7000, and I am going to just try to go on the very top of the finials here with some sandpaper and make them a little flat so they'll fit on there good. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then when they're dry, I'm going to be using my Mod Podge in the gloss here. And I have 1 coat on there already. I'm probably going to add 1 more coat to it. But I love how these are. You could add something underneath here with the gap, but I'm just going to leave them the way they are. So that's basically all you have to do for a bird finial. Now on to DIY number 3. I'm going to do a little birdhouse. I have this piece here that I got from Hobby Lobby a couple of years ago for 89 cents. I have a little wooden candle holder here that is going to be the stand. I have a couple shims that I'm going to make my little roof panels here. Of course, I'll have to cut them to the size that I want. So one will go here and one will go kind of like this. So the first thing I want to do is use that white paint with the Waverly chalk paint again. I did sand the front here. I'm going to paint all the sides with the white paint. Don't ask me why I'm painting this. I'm just used to doing it. I know this is going to get covered up, those 2 pieces, but I'm going to go ahead and at least do 1 coat there. Everything else will get 2 coats. All right, now that I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to be working on the shims here. They're going to be painted with the Ocean Mist Blue color again, and also going to be painting the candle holder. So let me go ahead and get a couple coats of paint here on the candle holder. And before I paint the shims, I want to get them cut. All right, so what I did was just using a utility knife here. I've marked it. I'm just going to use that as a guideline. And I realized that this shim is a little bit thicker at this end than the other one is, so I have to really work at it. The other one, I didn't have to score it too much, and it just, you bend it and it just popped in 2 pieces. And this one's not cooperating, so I'm just going to keep pushing on it. And remember, if you're using anything with razor blades, be very, very careful. I have sped this up. I did not do it this fast. A few more tries here. There we go. Just going to sand that cut edge. And then I'm going to get them painted. So they're going to go just like this. All right, now I have this cute little decoupage paper here that I got from Temu a few years ago. I pulled out these 3 sheets, and here is my shingle painted with that ocean mist blue, and I'm just trying to see which one of these looks the best that I like. I think I'm going to use this one. I kind of like this one. You can see it doesn't fit perfectly. I'm going to Mod Podge this on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this little sheet all the way to the top, and then I'll put a filler down at the bottom. So let's go ahead and get this on. See this little filler piece? I had used the other one on another project and I had a little bit left over, so that's perfect. I can stick that down at the bottom like that. I'm going to put just a little bit more Mod Podge on here. I'm going to smooth these out and wait for them to dry. Oops, keeps moving there. And once it's dry, I'll turn it over and use my X-Acto knife here and get all the edges cut off. All right, now that it's done, I did a little bit of light sanding. I have these cute stamps that I got from Temu a few years ago. I like this one with a bird, so I'm going to stamp it. I thought about using a bird mold, but I decided not to. Just really quick with a stamp. I want it to be really dark, so I'm just going to keep tapping on it. All right, let's put it where I want it. Then I'm just going to push it down, keeping it in place. And there we go. I think that looks really, really cute. So I'm going to have to wash that off. And now I have some wood glue here, just some Elmer's wood glue, that I'm just going to brush on to the edges and put my roof pieces on. Okay, so now I have to let this sit and dry before I put the base on. All right, so I decided to put a little embellishment at the top. It just seems really bare up there. So I'm taking my Crayola Model Magic Clay, one of my molds. I'm just going to push it down in here. Using a little bit of water to rub it down in. A little bit too much there. All right, so this is what I want to use at the very top of the birdhouse, just like so. I also am taking my antique waxing here and darkening this up just a little bit. I rubbed it on the edges where I sanded it. And I'm going to go ahead and add it to all the white sides here and the back a little bit also. I felt like I just wanted to antique this up just a touch. And I'll also put some on the blue roof and the stand. All right, now that that is done, and this clay is not dry yet, but I'm going to take this antique rose color and go ahead and get it painted while it's still drying, because I think this is a good color to go with the roses that are already on the paper. And this will just get hot glued on. All right, guess what? I changed my mind. I didn't like it. So check it out. I just rolled it up and now it's kind of like a marbly look to it. I kind of like that. So I'm just going to redo it again. So look, isn't that kind of neat with that? I'm actually going to add a little bit more of that paint. I want it to be a little bit darker. Just going to roll it a few more times, add a bit more paint. Get all smushed. And get it back in the mold. Okay, let's pull it out and see. I like the way this looks a lot better. All right, so now I also want to add a little bit of the Spanish moss. You know, I didn't even think about that before, about putting something at the bottom. I didn't have to put that little bit of paper down there, but that's okay. Could have covered it up with this. It looked kind of bare down there. I'll go ahead and cut a few pieces off, trim it up. Okay. All right, now I need to put the top piece back on here. And I'm just going to hot glue it on. It isn't quite dry yet. It's getting there, but I thought I'd go ahead and get it on there and see how it looks. Okay, I think this looks so cute. Let's see how everything looks together. So I've styled all of my projects here on my hutch, and they all pretty much coordinate with each other. Because even the blue that I used on the birdhouse is pretty close to the blue that is already on those ceramic birds. And I did add a little bit of the antique rose more on there. I wanted it just a little bit darker. It turned out a little bit too light for me. All right, my sweet friends, that's going to do it for the video today. I hope that you enjoyed it, and please be sure to check out everybody's videos. I have the playlist link down below, along with Dawn and Monica's channel links. I want to wish everybody a very wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.